Alright, greetings, folks. This is the BlackWeasel in today's One Piece chapter 834. So we're gonna go get right to it, and it was kind of late. I'm doing this on a Friday, but I'm doing this on a Friday because I slept, and then I went to the wellness to lift weights for a while. Then I went to class, and then I worked from 6 to 11. So now I had to read some stuff for a while. Now here I am. Now the name of the chapter is called. The name of the chapter is called My Dream. And for the 500 million Mary arc, we have Boa Hancock still fawning over Luffy. The name of Volume 22 is called The Isle of Women. She has a giant poster of Luffy's new bounty poster on the palace doors. Seems like it. Alright. Let's give another page. We have some fan art of Ace. He looks like a cartoon. Yes. Come on. We have some fan art of Caesar Clown. Now the flashback. Now somebody says, if you try to leave this island, let's just say that you'll be cooking with your feet. That's what Jaji says in the previous chapter. We have a shot of the wrist collars being put on Sanji. Like he's looking at the collars, the wrist collar, that got put on by his sister. And then Jaji says, and there's another flashback of Jaji says, "I definitely have you proceed with the marriage." And lo and behold, that's the two words of the Government Kingdom, Iron Fist. Like, I'll definitely have you proceed with the marriage. And Sanji says, now the scene continues on a flashback, and he yells, "Cut the bullshit! Get this thing off me!" And then Reiju says, "Don't try to forcefully remove them." And something starts happening. There's a pee sound that's coming from the wrist collars. He gets surprised as hell. And Reiju says, "Let go of the wrist, lady Sanji." And Reiju touched it. And there's another flashback of Reiju saying, "There's no way to get them off other than to use their respective keys. How many times do we have to repeat ourselves?" And the keys belong towards Big Mom. Now the scene changes towards the present, and Sanji is on the outside. He's looking over. Like he can't leave, otherwise his hands will get cut off. And he has a flashback of somebody saying, "Your hands are a mess." And I think that there's a peg leg kicking, beating Sanji, and that's Chef Zeph. He says, "Get it through that thick skull of yours. These pressure hands are not meant for fighting. Got it?" And Sanji lay on the ground. Owie. And Sanji's looking at the wrist collar with rage. Like, and he yells out, "God damn it!" And we get a shot of Government Kingdom. Between the Straw Hats, I'm pretty sure he has like the worst sad story. Like I think. Now the scene changes towards in the vicinity of Sweet City, and somebody says, "Boss Jimby actually turned his back on Big Mama," and somebody says, "To think that this all went down yesterday." And somebody says, "Man, it was cool of him to bring one of Mama's tantrums to end that one time, but this is just nuts. What has it that right after he stormed into her place asking to be cut loose? He got all weak in the knees when Mama demanded he make the payment. That's when he started backtracking." And then somebody says, "Get the hell out of here. That's so weak." And also, we're seeing Brooke and Pedro. These guys are incognito, and so now they eavesdropping the conversations. And somebody's laughing, ha ha ha, yeah, what a wuss. Somebody says, ha, Jimby, night of the sea. More like Jimby, blight of the sea. So he not only turned out to be a traitor, but he's also a yellow belly coward. Huh, they're talking crap. That's bogus. And then, and Brooks thinking to himself, Jimby. And there's a flashback of Jimby in Brooks' head. He says, I have my current position to consider. That's happened all back on Fishman Island. That Jimby wanted to join. Luffy wanted Jimby to join a crew, but Jimby had to deal with some stuff. And then Brooks thinking, I see. So you were a subordinate in Big Mom's crew. This explains why Fishman Island used to be under her protection. And then Pedro says that next to Chibukai, the thing that she had underlings of this caliber. Yeah, and Pedro is really surprised at what's under Big Mom in terms of power. And Pedro asks Brooke, are you acquainted with this man? And Brooke says, yes, he is a very important individual to us. And there's a flashback of Jim B says, once I have fulfilled my duty and free of such constraint, I hope that you invite me once more to join the Straw Hat Pirates. And Brooks thinking to himself, this must be precisely what he was talking about back then. In any case, the man described in this article sounds nothing like the Jimby we know. Does this mean that Jimby has a change of heart in terms of joining our crew? And Pedro says, oi, Brooke. And Pedro is pointing towards a window, like. And then somebody says, please, I have a prior engagement I must attend to immediately. And so, and we see Tamago again. And Tamago is saying, right now, nothing takes priority over you finding you the perfect dress. But do as we say, s'il vous plaît. So Puddin is talking towards Tamago. Somebody's telling Puddin, like, this is the one. Oh my, it will look absolutely ravishing on you. And she also said, I dare say there are too many options here. There's not a single dress that wouldn't suit you, madame. And somebody else says, well, Madame Puddin, Madame Puddin, perhaps we should choose an outfit with your groom's taste in mind. And Puddin says, huh? But that's just, we only met each other once. And then Brooke said, hey, Miss Pudding, what in the world? And then Brooke says, it seems she was unable to escape the watchful gaze of her handlers. Brooke says, she should have joined up with Luffy and the others long ago. And Pedro says, by the looks of things, Sanji probably has no clue that we arrived here either. And Brooke says, just who were the people Luffy saw back at the coast then? And then Pedro says, who knows, he probably mistook them for others. And Pedro says, that man over there is Baron Tamago. And somebody is talking towards Tamago and says, Baron, we'd like to have the word with you. And since Pedro says, like, look over there, is Baron Tamago, he must be like a pretty strong individual himself. Like, Pekoms has a bounty of 330 million berries, and I think Tamago should be right around that amount, you know? Anyways, Tamago says, regarding the Straw Hat Pirates ship that had recently docked at Chocolate Town, and lo and behold, Tamago has already figured it out. And then Pedro and Brooke both at the same time say what? And one of the talking things, I'm not sure what that is. He says, we received intel that Sir Pekoms was nowhere to be seen by the time the ship set sail. What the heck? So now Pekoms, they sure know that Pekoms is nearby, is nowhere. And somebody says, my God, they know everything. And the talking thing says, we also confirmed that 4 of the Straw Hats have entered the seducing woods. The chance of them for them is pretty much nil at this point. So capturing them is a foregone conclusion. What the hell? Oh crap! And then Pedro and Brooke are very surprised. This is, did they just say that capture of Luffy and the others is imminent? And they are still surprised as they overhear other people say. That being said, we're still in the dark as to the whereabouts of the crew, of the two remaining crew members. Like, meanwhile, there's a dot bubble from somebody. That's probably from time ago. I'm not sure where it's from. And the guy gives out two posters of Brooke and Pedro. And to add something interesting, they only got the disguises. It's so messed up, like how things are going very fast. And Pedro and Brooke says, "Oh dear Lord, it's us." And somebody says these are their posters, and they're still whispering to each other. How could they possibly be this well informed about movements? They've been keeping tabs on us from the very beginning. How could they all have gathered all this info so effortlessly? And Tamago says, "No, none. Not mink is no leopard. He is a jaguar mink, and he goes by the name Pedro." Well, I always wonder what he's supposed to be like. And jaguars, they have apparently they have very very strong jaws. I know that for sure. And somebody asked Tamago, "Are you acquaintances?" And Tamago goes, well, yes, you could say that." And Tamago goes, "Anyway, I have an inkling as to where we might find that mink. But for now, focus your attention and do everything you can to locate Pekoms." And the underling says, "Aye, sir." Tamago says, "When it was discovered that he still lived, I had considered taking him to Mama and begging for her forgiveness. After all, despite everything that's been going on recently, we have a long history together as partners. But now this, talk about a rock and a hard place." And Pedro and Brooke says, "We are truly in dire straits." So apparently, Pedro knows about Pekoms and Tamago. So it looks like they all used to be partners in some place. It's kind of weird. Two minks and a long leg. Anyways, the scene changes like for the third time on Whole Cake Island, the northeastern coast, and somebody says, "Wah, wah." And somebody says, "Oi, pipe down, Junior. Wah, pipe down." And lo and behold, we have Capone Big A again. And he does something goofy with his nose, like, down. And somebody, and the girl who looks like, Lola says, "Look at him. Laugh. He's so precious. Kiahaha, kiaha." So we have a character introduction of the 22-second daughter of the Charlie's family, Big A's wife, Charlie Chiffin. And this is Big A's son, Capone Gang Pets. So apparently, during the past 2 years, Capone, Big A has a son. It looks like there will be another one in their family business. Know what I'm saying? And then Big A says, "Alrighty, that's a good boy. But once puberty kicks in, you better be on your way to become a badass, sexy gang leader like your own man. And do the family name proud, as usual." And behind him is Gotti and Vito. It's so goofy. Ugh. And lo and behold, we have Pekoms. He's finally showing up. And Pekoms says, "I may have just thrown up a little in my mouth, a little growl." And Capone says, "It's comedic, ain't you? Ain't it? You a life about to end, standing in front of and watching a life that just began. Damn, that's pretty deep. It's like I'm waxing poetic over here. Because I gave you a way out. What's about to happen here, that's all on you." And Pekoms says, "A way out, my ass. Go." And Big A says, "I had some inklings about you during that whole zoo incident." Big Ass says, guys like you full of compassion and empathy, they're doomed to fail in our line of work. Admit it, you were never cut out for this world. Huh, that's messed up. A supernova talking towards your underling or Big Mama that. Um, Biggest says, this course right here, you won't find a better location for making undesirables disappear. Once they're done with you, not a single hair under that head of yours will remain. Oh, that's bogus as hell. They tied Pekoms towards chains. Yep. Looks like they're really about to dump him into the river. Just like what 1930s gangsters used to do. They tossed people into the river when they couldn't pay. They turned, they put up Picard's body in chains. At the same time, in real life, people will tie send up blocks towards people's legs, so that way they'll end up drowning. So apparently, I guess you can say that Big A came onto Straw Hat's ship and kidnapped Pekoms without damaging anyone. And it was like it was like a, it was like a forewarning message. You know how like, dead rats showing up into people's houses as a obvious sign. And Big A says, "Any last words?" There's a dot bubble. Pekom's not saying anything. There's a gun. And the baby starts crying. Wah! Wah! And Picard is pissed as hell. He says, "You underestimating Mama will be your downfall." Wah! And he pulls the trigger. Boom! He shoots Pekoms down to the river. Big A is smiling. This is it. The supernova is taking over. And that's the end of Pekoms. Anyways, the scene changes towards the whole cake tattoo in the Queen's chamber. And then Big Mom says, "I've been sending you a surplus of funds. Haven't I, Caesar Clown?" And Caesar says, yes, of course. I've been diligently and faithfully continuing my research as well. So apparently, looks like Big Mom is about to find out what's happening. And then Big Mom says, My dream is to become family with all the races of the world, and to enjoy our meal with my diverse family at eye level while we sit around without a care in the world. Caesar, you alone are my only hope of making this dream a reality. So that's what the whole Pacific research was. Not just funding for weapons of mass destruction, but another Yonku has been involved in the underworld. She says, "You are to use the power of science to gigantify my entire family and to make them big as she is." I like where this is going. And Big Mom says, "Every time I called in to check on you, you tell me how close you were to putting the finishing touches on your research. That you simply needed more funding to make that final push across the finish line. I could giddy with anticipation every time you told me that. And with no hesitation, I made sure you got your money. So tell me, how's it going?" And then Khadu says she's a clown, stuttering like a bitch. He says, "It is going amazingly thanks to you." He's just thinking to himself that the giantification of humans. Obviously, all my experiments and research have been focused in that field. After all, perfecting such a recipe would make me the most sought after scientist in the world. Having said that, the research I've been doing has been primarily on converting brass into giants. I haven't been able to ensure longevity or sustained health, and it's become painfully clear that creating a magical drug that simply lets an individual grow in physical stature without any side effects is impossible. That's why I've been milking this crazy hack for all she's worth." And then the flashbacks of Mocha coming into play. That's messed up. Uh-oh. And Caesar Clown still sneaking to himself and spending all those excess fun on the finest booze and women from my favorite girl ship, singing them onto the island as a highlight of my life. Such good times. I was able to do as I please on my own watch while hiding behind Joker's shadow, Doflamingo's shadow. I'm not sure how will Doflamingo will take on a Yonkers. I don't know what this idiot is thinking. And Joker said, and then Caesar starts crying like, I never imagined that Joker would have his ass handed to him, and I'd be ending up with this in this precarious situation. Like now he starts crying like, I never imagined that Joker would have his ass handed to him. And then Big Mom starts noticing, why are you making that expression? And Caesar Clown says, yeah. Straw Hat Luffy. Yeah, that's right. Luffy. Straw Hat Luffy. He's the one responsible for ruining my work. Big Mom, believe me when I said that I spent countless sleepless nights cultivating the notion that fruits are both our labor. I was on the precipice that this finally close to being done, but when out of the blue, that moron Straw Hat Kid and Truffle girl law through a monkey wrench and carefully laid out plans. If not for the meddling and interference, my research on Tagism would have been completed long ago, for I am a genius with no equal. With that incredibly high-tech built lab, high-tech lab built by the world, the government, the mind disposal, anything was possible. But now that I've been destroyed, my genius had been handcuffed without comparable facilities. There's no way I can duplicate my previous results. Without your financial backing and a suitable workstation, even if someone's prejudiced, myself cannot reproduce that perfect justifying formula. I have successfully manufactured in the recent past. And he's getting down on his knees. He's still crying. Ugh. Anyways, Big Mom says, if that is the only thing holding you back, then you need not fret. I have already built an exact replica of your previous lab. And Caesar Clown says, hey? And Big Mom says, as luck would have it, I had managed to get my hands on the blueprints for the Pacific Lab a while back. Our Minister of Candy, who also happens to be a candy craftsman, was then able to construct most of the facility by using candy. We then reinforced the entire structure with iron, so you can rest assured there are no safety hazards or risks looming. As far as financial backing is concerned, whatever you require, I should make it available to you. What the heck? Like a huge surprise right there. Even some of the people surrounding the talking things with faces said, yell out, what? And then Big Mom asked, now then, when will the drug be ready? And then Caesar Clown still thinking to himself, he says, I'm thinking maybe a week, no more than 2 at most. Ha ha ha, ma, I'm so excited. No, Caesar, actually that's what Big Mom's thinking. She said, I'm thinking more, maybe a week, no more than 2 at most. Ha ha ha, ma, I'm so excited. Yeah, Caesar Clown is thinking to himself, 2 weeks my ass. You want me to come up with something that even the brightest minds over the past few centuries have failed to accomplish. So apparently some people have been doing this as well. They want to have giant people to take over the world. And then somebody comes out of nowhere, and he says, lickety lick. What do you think of my latest creation, Caesar? Coo. It looks just as scrumptious as the real thing, does it not? It works in very much the same way, lickety. What the heck? So we have a new character debut. He is the eldest son of the Charlotte family. Charlotte Sparrow, the Minister of Candy, a candy human who ate the lick fruit. And he looks like he could be a strong fellow. Perro was squeezing onto Caesar's heart, and he said, this thing is quite fascinating, wouldn't you agree? And there's a flashback of this chapter's longer still. Anyways, this is a flashback of Caesar Clown remembering, oh, yeah, Blackleg, give me back my heart before you gallivant out of here. And then Sanji says, oh yeah, sure, enjoy it. And he gives it towards Vito. And Vito squeezes it and he yells out, ah! And Perospero says, 2 weeks, that's all the time you have. If you fail to complete your research by then, I'll turn you into a cannon man and you'll be on the wrong side of my tongue. What the heck? And then Caesar Clown says, so I have 2 weeks to live. I need to figure a way out of this. That's what he's thinking to himself. And when the scene changes towards the southwestern coast at nighttime, and some people are gasping, and Luffy says, wheeze, I'm really getting sick of seeing your ugly mug. And Luffy says, I found some more. And then the giant guy in the river says, wow, quite right you are. That's a lot of friends you got. Woof, 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 woof. He brings in a bunch of talking stuff. Some people says wolf wolf meow meow and squeeze squeeze. So like there's dogs, cats, and mouses. And Luffy says there should be all of them, but I still don't get why they're acting so weird. And then Luffy asks, "Come on, guys, what gives? Whose idea was it to multiply?" So we have a bunch of Carrot, Nami, Chopper, Sanji, Pudding, Chopper, Sanji again, a bunch of Sanji. So like apparently, he's dealing with weird stuff in the forest, and that's the end of chapter 834. So lots of stuff happening.